Hi everyone, this is Shirley from Shirley's World, and I know that Molly, that's her right there, she just laid an egg a little while ago, so we're going to go in and collect her egg, and I'll show you how I keep the eggs. I check that she laid an egg here so that you... There's her egg. She lays a beautiful brown egg. Her eggs are this color, brown, and they usually have a few little tiny speckles on them. So I know that... Hi Heron. You missed my show. I just collected Molly's egg here, and I'm going into Dexter's gone. That spirit. Do you want to go out, Dexter? Come on. Dogs, in, out, in, out, in, out. That's what I do all day. So I'm bringing my egg in, and I keep my fresh eggs in a ceramic container here on the counter because, well, I like the way it looks, number one. And number two, you don't have to refrigerate fresh eggs. That is, if you don't wash them. Fresh eggs, when they come from the chicken, have a coating. It's almost a waxy type coating. You can't feel it, but it's a waxy type coating that protects the egg, and it's called the bloom. B-L-O-O-M, bloom. And that protects it from getting any bacteria into the inside of the egg. And I suppose that's because if the hen is going to sit on the eggs, they're protected because they're not going to be, they're going to be warm and not refrigerated at all. You don't have to refrigerate eggs. In fact, in Europe, they don't refrigerate any of the eggs. Even in the stores, they don't refrigerate eggs. So I keep mine on the counter for at least a week or until they're all used up. If I have any extras, I do put them in the refrigerator in an egg carton. And I do have a couple eggs here that are kind of iffy that I'm going to test. They've been there a long time. In fact, this egg, this small egg, is the last egg I have from my chicken that was killed. I just can't seem to part with it. This is the color of the Easter eggers' eggs. This greenish, bluish, beautiful egg. And she laid a really small one. Now, I didn't break it open or anything because it was her last egg. So I think it could be just all white, because sometimes when they lay one of these, they're called fairy eggs. They're real small compared to, look how big this one is compared to that one. And a lot of times they're all white, no yolk. Not all the time, but sometimes. So they can be on your counter for at least a month. Like I said, Europe doesn't even refrigerate them at all. But you don't wash the eggs. You don't wash the bloom off of the egg. If the egg is dirty, which it shouldn't be if you keep your nesting boxes clean, you just take a paper towel, or you could have a really non-scratch little sponge that you only use for that, and just sort of take the dirt off. But you don't wash the egg. You wash the egg right before you're going to use it. And you wash it in warm water, and not cold, because cold will drive any bacteria that's out on the shell into the egg. So you don't use cold water, use warm water, like lukewarm water, not hot, just lukewarm water. You just rinse it off. No, you don't have to use soap or vinegar or anything else. You just use warm water. You just rinse it off and dry it, and then that's when you can use your egg. You store the eggs with the pointy side down. Look at this one, even has a little feather on it. That's proof I don't wash my eggs before I store them. You store the eggs with the pointy side down, pointy end down, because the little air sac is on the top of the egg. Having the big part of the egg up gives, that's where the air sac is, so you don't want the air sac to be moving around. So that's how you store the egg, pointy side down. Now, let's see how to test for if an egg is good or not. You put some water, this is just cold water, in a container that you can see here. And since we know what egg is fresh, I'm going to show you what a fresh egg does. If you put the fresh egg down in the water, the fresh egg will stay sunk to the bottom. Sunk to the bottom. And this egg here, I'm not sure about. So this egg has been in the refrigerator a while, so I'm going to test this egg. See how it comes up a little bit off of the bottom, but it's still good. It's still good. Let's try this one. This one's been in there a while too. Oh, see how it's floating even more? It's floating up toward the top. Now that's an older egg. Now this really old egg, I'm sure it bounces right up to the top, even sticking out of the water. That egg I would not use to eat. I could crack it open. It takes an awful long time for eggs to actually go bad, but it wouldn't be as fresh. So what I would do with a couple eggs that floated toward the top, I would make up some scrambled eggs and give them to the dogs or back to the chickens. But the freshest eggs will sink to the bottom. Did I try all of them? They look wet, so I must have tried them all. These were some that I collected recently that they should stay down on the bottom. Those are fresh because they've just been in the last couple days. Now after I put them in water and sort of rinse them off here, I will have to put them in the refrigerator now because I'll wipe them off. Just that little bit of warm water will take the bloom off the egg. So I will wash these or rinse them off, put them toward the top of the container so I know which ones are the freshest. And so after you wash them off, you put them in the refrigerator. Now here's something you can think about. Did you know that commercial egg farmers have 30 days? Here, let me. Commercial egg farmers have 30 days to get their eggs to market from the hen when it's first laid, from the hen to the market. Then the market can keep, let's see, I have this written down. The store has 30 days to sell the eggs. So that's 60 days. Then they tell you you have 5 weeks. You can keep your eggs in the refrigerator about 5 weeks. So think about this, that this amounts to, if you bought an egg on April 1st from the store, These are store-bought eggs. You could be eating an egg that was laid back in December, the December before. So that's why fresh eggs from the chicken, your own fresh eggs, or if you get them at a farm from people that raise chickens, they're so much better tasting. There's a huge difference in the taste of a store-bought egg. Yeah, a store-bought egg and an egg fresh from a farmer. I mean fresh, not from the commercial farmer, but from somebody that's just raising hens on their own, or raising your own. The yolk looks different. The yolks are almost orangish yellow. And if you, yes, that's a great way to do it. My neighbors all love me when my hens are laying. The yolks of a fresh egg, really fresh from chickens, especially that are fed really good food, are almost orangish yellow. The ones you buy in the store are just like, can be a light yellow, and much tastier, right? They taste so much better. So if you've never tasted a really fresh egg, you should compare. Go find a farmer that has their own chicks, or if you know somebody that has their chickens, buy a dozen of eggs from them, and you'll compare the difference. It's huge. And so that's what I wanted to tell you about eggs and how I store them. So I bring them in from the coop. I place them just in that ceramic container that I have on my counter. And I keep them on the counter, especially when I have blue. Now this egg isn't good, but if this was a full-size green egg and I had a few of them, they look so pretty on the counter that I just keep my eggs out, because I use 1 or 2 eggs a day. And when my hens are laying a lot, like I had 5 hens. They were all laying really good, of course, the first year. And I was getting a lot more eggs than I could use. It's only me, so I can't eat 3 or 4 eggs a day. And they were laying 4 and 5 eggs a day. So I gave a lot away. I didn't have enough to actually put a little stand out front, but I had a lot that I had to give some away. So I'd give them to my neighbors and the girls at the barn. But now they're 2.5, going to be 3 years old, and they've stopped laying. Right now they're stopped because they're molting, but they've stopped laying a lot, because when they reach 2 or 3 years old, their laying that slows down a lot to like every other day, or sometimes every 3rd day. So that's why you keep getting new chicks. It's an excuse to get new chicks. They will lay. I mean, they'll keep laying till they're 4, 5, 6 years old, but it'll be less and less. You know, if you have a 5 or 6 year old hen, she may only give you 1 egg a week. But so the first year, I would say the first 2 years are the best years for their laying, and after that, they're just pets. You'll get some eggs, but you have to get new chicks if you want a lot of eggs. So in the spring, I'm going to get a new crop of chicks, little baby chicks. I get them by mail. They're 1 day old. I'm going to order them really early so I can get the breeds that I want. And I'll raise them in a brooder in my bathroom. I have a lower bathroom down here that I set up a brooder. But I will teach you how to do that in the spring when I'm doing it. So that'll be fun. So that's my little speech about how to collect and keep and clean your eggs, and how to test for freshness. going to go, and I have to get a lot of things ready to list on eBay tomorrow. I list on Sundays. That's supposed to be the best day to list, so I'm selling baby clothes and some other things that I have to get ready, so I'll do that today. And later on I'm going to make some salmon patties out of some canned salmon, so I may be on to do that. We'll see. We'll see about how much of a mess I think I'll make. So I will be on later, and thank you for joining me and the hearts. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye. It will be nice to see you, Shirley. Have a great day. Hope to see you. Yes. You too, both of you, have great afternoons. Bye.